Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to formally welcome everyone, including members of the gallery and press, to this council meeting. My name is Councillor Owen Sharkey. I'm the Mayor of Golden Plains Shire Council. Tonight, this council meeting is taking place within the well at Smeisdale and is open to the public. This meeting has been live streamed in accordance with Council's governance rule, and I welcome any viewers joining us online as the meeting is open to the public to attend. If the live stream ceases at any time, the meeting will continue. And also noting that myself and the CEO are working remotely, so I'll be chairing this remotely, and I can see and hear everyone, which is good. And if the live stream does break down, off myself and Adam Golf-Lom, we have the Deputy Mayor Emma Robbins, who can chair the meeting. Councillors, I will now recite the opening declaration on behalf of all councillors. We, the councillors of Golden Plains Shire, declare that we will undertake on every occasion to carry out our duties in the best interest of the community, and that our conduct shall maintain the standards of the Code of Good Governance, so that we may faithfully represent and uphold the trust placed in this council by the people of Golden Plains Shire. Acknowledgement of country. Golden Plains Shire spans the traditional lands of the Wadawurrung and Eastern Maar people. We acknowledge them as the traditional owners and custodians, and Council pays its respect to both the Wadawurrung and Eastern Maar elders past and present. Council extends that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are part of the Golden Plains Shire. Now we move on to apologies and leave of absence. Councillors, are there any apologies for this meeting or requests for leave of absence? Councillors are looking for a confirmation. Councillors, we have a recommendation before us to confirm the minutes of the ordinary meeting of council held on the 26th of May 2026 as circulated. I seek a mover and a seconder. Moved Councillor Hayden and seconded by Councillor Phelan. And I'll take that as read. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Councillors, are there any declarations of conflicts of interest? Take that as a no. And we have no public questions tonight, so we'll move on to consider the formal agenda, being item 7.1 on page 6 of the agenda. Council, there is a recommendation in front of us there, and I'll seek a mover to that. Second motion. Item 7.1. Moved Councillor Gamble and seconded Councillor Robbins. Councillor Gamble, would you like to speak to the motion?
Sorry, could I start with the question?
Sorry, my apologies, Councillor Gamble. I'll take. Sorry, my apologies. Question, Councillor Gamble.
Yeah, just directing towards the Director of Infrastructure for an update on the proposed Eastdale pedestrian crossing.
Thank you, Councillor Gamble. Through you, Chair. We have updated the concept plan and incorporated the feedback we received from the January community consultation process, which has resulted in some, some compromises, because to meet you can't meet all the requests. So the key ones were to move the refuge to be more aligned with the general store in the car park, and to make the lanes a little bit wider so the farm machinery can get through without any obstacles, etc. And also to provide a truck parking bay or truckies that want to stop and pop into the general store. Those changes have been made. We've sent that in the last couple of days off to Department of Transport and Planning for their endorsement before we undertake the second round of consultation and get back to the community with the changes.
Thank you.
We're hoping that will be July, August at the latest.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillors, are there any further questions? And Councillor Gamble, are you happy to take that as moving the motion? And
yes.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor Gamble moving the motion, Councillor Robbins seconding. Thank you. Councillor Gamble.
Yeah, thank you. I commend the CEO and executive leadership team for the update on the notice of motion. With this update, I acknowledge and thank the officers for the preparatory work done towards a road safety strategy for the whole Shire, which will also include community engagement. Also, acknowledging Council's role and interaction with Department of Transport and Planning already in implementing significant infrastructure improvements in Teesdale and other parts of the Shire, such as important new road safety upgrades around the school zone and several speed limit changes. There's also been multiple bus stops in Teesdale are receiving major upgrades as we speak. These upgrades follow a council commissioned bus safety audit, which hastened the process. We thank the Department of Transport and Planning for funding and delivering these upgrades already. But and we're waiting for the redesign plan for the car park, as Director Josipovic outlined. Thank you. So, however, as per the NOM, which was supported by all councillors unanimously, I expected to see or indication of progress on a proactive report as per the NOM with point number 1, providing recommendations as to what council can do above to A, raise driver awareness of vulnerable road users in township zones, and B, introduction and options regarding traffic calming signage. I was expecting to see options, strategic and practical planning and options to proceed on for our council to do more. I believe this NOM, passed in April last year, which is over a year ago, directs officers to investigate options. I note the signage used in other neighbouring municipalities highlighting school children within the vicinity and other more extensive traffic calming measures taken. I note this NOM's intention is to help prevent the death or significant harm of children in particular, but also other vulnerable road users. Going forward, I commend the progress and the actions undertaken so far. However, I would like to see and expect a future report coming back to Council to allow us to assess and focus on a variety of important and practical actions which may or may not be implemented, but reflect legitimate community concerns and ways we may be able to enhance driver awareness and traffic calming.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. Councillor Robbins, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you. The death of a young child in our community was a tragedy that affected many people and understandably raised concerns about road safety. While there were strong views at the time about what should be done, it was important that Council respond in a considered way, informed by evidence. I think it's worth recognising the substantial amount of work that's been undertaken over the past 14 months to improve safety. Councillor Gamble's already given a good summary of the work done to date. This report shows that Council has taken the issue seriously and made meaningful change for vulnerable road users, while also considering the needs of other road users. Before pursuing any additional signage, I'd be interested in understanding the evidence supporting its effectiveness in changing driver behaviour. We already have a range of measures either implemented or underway, including measures that have proven to work.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Would any councillor like to speak against the motion? With no one is speaking against the motion, I will put it to a vote. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Item 7.2 on page 9 of the agenda. Are there any questions, councillors? There's no questions. I'll seek a mover to a motion. So thank you very much. Moving the motion, Councillor Robbins. Second the motion, Councillor Gamble. Councillor Robbins, thank you.
Thank you. We know that our roads and drainage maintenance teams do some of the most visible work in our organisation, and we really need them to be working in ways that are proactive, organised, efficient, cost-effective and safe. The Roads and Drainage Maintenance Review was undertaken in response to a councillor notice of motion, and the report just gives a brief summary, but the full review was extremely comprehensive. I was impressed with how exhaustive it seemed to be, and I think councillors will take a strong interest in monitoring the implementation of the recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Gamble, seconding the motion.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I thank the officers for bringing this recommendation to council, for providing transparency on this important area of council service delivery. The recommendation acknowledges the process and review has been completed. The report acknowledges sensitive and confidential matters involving workforce cultural matters, which prevents full public disclosure. I can say as a councillor, however, I support this review having taken place with improvements having been identified. I think it's important we acknowledge the great work and best endeavours of our outdoor workers, past and present. These workers have been under a lot of pressure and oftentimes unrealistic expectations. In recent times, there's been an extra challenging area of council's activities since the flood conditions of 2022 and other climate-driven events. Drainage issues in our shire, which are very much a legacy issue, in my opinion, which council has put more resources into investing in more equipment and personnel. I also note the vast area of our shire necessitating separate teams, travel times, etc. I note this review was undertaken, overseen directly by the CEO, who has been forthcoming with ongoing updates to councillors. And finally, I note the review is conducted with independent consultants, helping the driver focus for constructive outcomes. Time motion studies undertaken, for example, to improve productivity and service delivery to residents.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? No councillor speaking against the motion. I'll put it to a vote. All those in favour? The motion is carried. Thank you. Item 7.3, Golden Lake Road Bridge, page 11 of the agenda. Councillors, are there any questions? With no questions, I'll seek a mover. Moving a motion, Councillor Phelan, and just with that item, I will, appreciating councillors have seen a few different options on that one. Councillor Phelan, I'll just sort of seek some clarification on what motion you are moving.
I'm moving a motion that we do some maintenance work on the bridge, and when the continuation of the road being open, that the maintenance work will be done, allowing for the bird trail to be acknowledged. But at the end of this money.
Sorry, Councillor Phelan. Just for the sake of that, can you just refer to the option number so councillors are aware of what option, and then I'll ask you to read out the whole motion as it's written, so that viewers online are aware.
Not to replace the bridge, option 1.
Option number 1, and are you able to? I'll seek a seconder to that motion, and then Councillor Phelan, I'll ask you to read out that motion as it's written. Just appreciating that councillors are aware of the motion, but just for viewers at home, unless it's on, is it on this? Unless it's on the screen there and I can't see it.
What?
Yeah, so just seeking just to read out the motion as it's written.
Undertake necessary maintenance works to allow continued use of the bridge for vehicle access up to 5 tonne limit. Note that undertaking that maintenance work will lead to the bridge being suitable for 5 tonne or less vehicle access for an estimated 5 to 10 years. Do not plan to seek any funding for the replacement due to the low use of the bridge. Commence the formal process to disconnecting part of the road when the bridge reaches the end of its useful life, as determined by a suitable qualified bridge inspector. Note it has the power to discontinue a road under Clause 3, Schedule 10 of the Local Government Act 1989, and must allow any person to make submissions to the proposed discontinuance in accordance with Section 207A of the Local Government Act 1989.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Do I have a seconder to the motion being put? Seconding the motion, Councillor Cook. Councillor Phelan, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think that there's been enough discussion on this bridge over a long period of time. I think that this motion will appease some people, but it'll probably disappoint others. But I think that we've got to make some stance. The council moved 5 or 6 years ago not to do anything, to discontinue it. We've come to this stage now, and I think that this is going to give people the opportunity. They can do what they like, but at the end of the day, we've said that the bridge will close at the end of this maintenance.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Councillor Cook.
Very wholeheartedly with Councillor Phelan's comments, but in addition, it should be noted that it's believed that the road and the bridge only really service 2 properties in that vicinity, that the cost of replacing the bridge is prohibitive when considering there are only 2 ratepayers. And another council at another time in the past may have decided something differently. We're dealing with the situation now under the circumstances that we currently face, and the allocation of some money for the necessary maintenance to extend the useful life of the bridge for the moment is certainly the best option. But it's not the sort of thing that should be replaced.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cook. Would any other councillor like to speak against the motion? Councillor Kirby, thank you.
Thank you. There is some parts I'd like to speak against and some for. Just for a bit of historical information, this bridge was originally called Christie's Bridge, not Golden Lake Bridge. And I just think that it's for a bit of historical information that it's interesting to know. Sometimes, even though we might want to close this bridge due to the lack of funding, I think we have to realise too that in cases of emergencies, in case of bushfires, in case of accidents on the Glenelg Highway, we have to have an alternative route. We have, if cars are coming out of Basin Road, which runs into Casey Road, then Golden Lake Road, the people will use this road as an alternative source to get through. We have lots of cars that use this bridge for the Rainbow Bird Trail, whether they are walking, cycling, or using their own cars. This has not been mentioned in the report, that people do use their cars on the bird trail because the length runs from Daryl right through to the rail trail on Casey Road. So it really needs to be opened for future use and for historical purposes as well. Approximately 30 plus houses north of Golden Lake Road now reside the top end on the north of this road. Just if there is safety, and there are trees down, and they were trying to escape from a fire, for example, and they would head across Golden Lake Road, as it is an open area of land all the way, with only 200 to 300 metres of trees that they have to bypass. If they were to go the alternative route, there would be 1 kilometre of trees, large trees, and especially ones that are leaning over the road. In this area as well, in case of bushfires or emergencies, telephones just do not work in this area. There are pockets where you just cannot get communication. So there is limited service in the area. And we know that this has happened in the past when there's been emergencies. Farming operations would be more difficult due to having to go the long way round. If we do not have a bridge or a culvert that goes over that waterway, how on earth is farmers going to get their machinery around there? Especially if that landowner owns land on one side to the other. Is he going to go 5 kilometres around? I'm just concerned that we are passing something here without community consultation. This has not gone out to the public for community consultation. Do these 30 residents really want this road closed? Have we consulted?
Summing up, please, Councillor.
Thank you. Have we consulted with Ambulance Victoria? Have we consulted with the local police? Are we stopping tourist operators from using this road, car clubs, motorbikes, that sort of thing? If there is a fire on the Linton Piggereek Road and the Piggereek residents from the south...
Sorry, Councillor Kirby, I did ask you to sum up there, but you're starting to raise several other points. So I'll just finish you up there, Councillor Kirby, appreciating the time restraints that we have. Thank you.
I'm Mr. Mayor.
Sorry, yes, sorry, I did give you a moment, Councillor Kirby, and then you continue to go on. We have governance rules in place for these reasons. So, councillors, I would suggest that we try and keep within the time restraints, and perhaps speaking to the motion will gain you more time. Thank you very much. Would any councillors like to speak for the motion? Councillor Robbins, thank you.
Thank you. I think we need to acknowledge the reality that there is currently no realistic funding pathway for a replacement. We have to be honest about that and start planning for a future in which the bridge isn't available to motor vehicles. However, if $30,000 to $40,000 worth of maintenance can extend the life of the bridge by potentially another decade, I think that's a modest investment that allows us to continue providing a level of service while we prepare for the bridge's eventual retirement. The bridge forms part of the local road network and provides a local benefit. For those residents in Casey Road and further north, the advice from CFA is that egress via Golden Lake Road in the event of a fire is not recommended. However, from time to time, fires do occur along the Glenelg Highway, and there is some value in having an alternative egress route, even if it's not an ideal one. For these reasons, I support undertaking maintenance works now, while also accepting that eventual closure to motor vehicles is the likely long-term outcome. As far as the point made by Councillor Kirby that this hasn't gone through public consultation, the process of discontinuing the road does allow for people to make submissions on the proposed discontinuation, so that would come after this decision. And I think that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Would anyone like to speak against the motion?
Can I ask a point of clarification? Maybe directed to the CEO. Why was there no community consultation phase undertaken at this stage of the process?
Thanks, Councillor Gamble, and through you, Mr. Mayor. Sorry, Councillor Gamble, I guess to the point Councillor Robbins touched on, the perspective was that any process to close the road would need to go through a process that involves community consultation, and as such, it would be undertaken at that point.
Thank you. At this point, could I raise an amendment, please?
Yes, you may. The amendment to the motion being
that provision be made for the continuity of the Rainbow Bird Trail for non-vehicular traffic.
Sorry, can you just repeat that just for clarity, please?
I guess it'd be point 6. The provision be made for the continuity of Rainbow Bird Trail non-vehicular traffic.
I don't believe that changes the current motion. My understanding is that is in place at the moment. Am I right in saying?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the maintenance work would continue for vehicle access, and that would necessarily mean non-vehicle access, including pedestrians and bicycles, is catered for.
Yeah, and that's very much my understanding. So I don't believe that amendment, Councillor Gamble, adds anything to the motion.
Okay, thank you.
Are you happy? I'm happy for you to put that forward if you'd like to seek a seconder, but I don't believe that adds to the amendment. But for governance, if you'd like to put that forward, I'm happy to seek a seconder.
I'll just I will put it up just because I think it would help clarify to the public that we do intend to maintain that track and trail access into the future.
Do I have?
Can I make a point there, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Phelan.
Well, we're continuing it on for at least 10 years. So I think that's what happens after that. Well, we're saying we're not going to build the bridge. So they've got 10 years there. And then at the end of that 10 years, if the planks in the bridge have had it, they maybe have to put something into the creek. We've got 10 years.
Sorry, Councillor Phelan, I appreciate your comments, but your comments are sort of speaking against the amendment. Councillor Gamble, again, yeah. Sorry, I'll take your amendment to the motion. Do I have a seconder to the amendment to the motion? And the amendment lacks for a want of a seconder. Councillor Gamble, I'll come back to you now seeking. Did you want to speak for or against the motion, Councillor Gamble?
Noting Councillor Kirby seconded the amendment.
I was left hanging there for a long time. I felt like I gave a long time there for a second. Councillor, happy to take it as seconding the motion, but please, if I'm calling for a seconder and I'm getting blank looks at me, and then I get a seconder after I call it ended. Councillor Kirby.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I actually was raising a question, if I may, to the director.
No, no, Councillor Kirby, you. So okay then. So what I'll do is I'll come back, Councillor Gamble. Nobody seconded your motion. It's been confirmed by Councillor Kirby that the amendment to the motion wasn't seconded. So I'll come back to you, Councillor Gamble, to speak for or against, and I'll come to you, Councillor Kirby, now having raised your hand with a point of clarity, I understand.
My point of clarity, thank you, is would there be an alternative route for the Rainbow Bird Trail if this did not go ahead?
So just as to clarify the point of order, Councillor Kirby, the bridge which is there, which forms part of the trail, is going to be, under this current motion that's been put forward, that bridge will be retained till its end of life for road traffic for 5 to 10 years. And at that point, then the road, if it is deemed, that's to end its end of life in its road point in terms of cars. My understanding is that the bridge will be retained for as long as possible in regards to foot traffic and bicycles. But that would be then for that point in time to have that conversation in 5 or 10 years for the next council. But it's very much my understanding is that will still remain as the bird trail path.
If I may, it doesn't state that in the resolution. It says that it will be closed up to 5 to 10 years.
But for road movement, for car movements.
It just says the bridge will be closed.
Can I make a suggestion?
Councillor Robbins, thank you.
We have a One of our alternative recommendations has, as point 3, restrict access to the bridge to only pedestrians and cyclists when the bridge is assessed as no longer suitable for any vehicles as determined by a suitably qualified bridge inspector. Can we just add that into the motion as point 4? And if the mover and seconder of the original motion agree.
Sorry, Councillor Robbins, that's a little bit more than seeking clarification. You have spoken on the item. I'm going to come back to Councillor Gamble, who was speaking for or against the motion, and appreciating he may have heard what you've just said as well.
Yeah. However, I don't have a seconder for the amendment I put forward, so it's off the table, I think. I was going to say.
Yeah, so I'm just going to come back to you, Councillor Gamble, then, and seek. Did you want to speak for or against the motion? Or would you like to speak on the motion?
Yeah, just basically, I feel obligated to support this motion because it wasn't suitable sort of. The CFA, for example, did not support the continuation of the car access routes through the Golden Lake over the bridge, and given the expenses and the financial sustainability issues we currently have, I can't in all conscience support the continuing to try and get funding for it to continue the bridge into the future. So that's what's behind my decision going forward.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. Would any other councillor like to speak for or against the motion? And Councillor Phelan, I'll come back to you as the mover of the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I can understand some of the problems or some of the concerns, but I think we've got to be realistic about this. The bridge is at the end of its life. We're trying to do as much as we can to keep it available as long as we can by the 5 tonne reduction or 5 tonne load limit, and is unable to people use the road. I think as far as fire access is concerned, there's plenty of access out through Piggery. The council last year spent 1.1 million on a bridge just a kilometre down the creek from this road. So there's already access there. The other thing is that access takes you out to the south where you'd want to be if you're going out of a bushfire. You wouldn't want to be going back into it. So we've got to think about that realistically. And I think that the other thing is that as a council, we've got 10 bridges above this one that need maintenance. That this is going to cost 800,000 that we haven't got. And I think to spend money on a bridge that 5 cars or 9 cars a day use is just complete stupidity. If it was a culvert or something like that we could fix cheaply, different thing altogether. But we can't build a bridge for that sort of money. And I think that the ratepayers, and probably against the motion that I've moved or the council may carry, is that we're trying to do everything, the betterment for everybody in the municipality and not just one little culvert.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Councillors, I'll put it to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? Those against the motion? The motion is carried. Thank you. Councillors, item 7.4, roads and...
Call a division, please, Mr. Mayor.
A division on that. Councillors, all those in favour of the motion? Councillor Sharkey, Councillor Phelan, Councillor Hayden, Councillor Robbins, Councillor Gamble, Councillor Cook, and all those against the motion? Councillor Kirby. Thank you very much. Item 7.4, road improvements program, page 15 of the agenda. Councillors, are there any questions on this item? With there being no questions, I'll seek a mover. Moving the motion, Councillor Cook. Seconding the motion, Councillor Phelan. Councillor Cook, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This got a lot of roads on tonight, but this is the plan for improvement of the roads in the Shire in this current year. It has relied on a number of reports. The first, sorry, I was too involved in the last one. That's my space. The survey, it's an April 2024 survey of road segments where the whole Shire has been surveyed, and we're using that material. In addition, road condition assessment system concerning the pavements, and then additional factors such as the road width and traffic volumes. And I think that's the most important thing when people are assessing and saying, oh, my road here needs attention. It's worse than the other road down the in the Shire that they're improving. And traffic volumes will have a big impact on how quickly or otherwise your local road may be attended to. Now, the good news is for those people that regularly say, oh, this road, that road and the other are going to be fixed. Well, on the Christmas wish list this year will be Wingeel Road, which is often talked about, maybe less often travelled by people who use it with large trucks. Post Office Road, Bakers Bridge Road and the Sebastopol Smythesdale Road. So there's good news out there for these things will happen. They will happen this year. In addition, we've been accessing the Black Spot program, and in particular, there was a $1.9 million funding Black Spot to control compressors on the Stiglitz-Sheoaks Road, which there are some fatalities. So we can, or we are, where there are funds available from state and transport accident programs, to fix particular spots, and in this case, $1.9 million for a small patch of road. I think it's a plan that will see the overall Shire move forward and hopefully attend to some of the roads that are in dire need of some care and maintenance, and I commend the program to the council.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cook. Councillor Phelan.
I'll reserve my right, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Councillor Phelan, would you like to speak?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think that it's a $3.18 million project, and we know that $3.18 million is not enough to do what we have to do. We've got a long way to go right across the state as far as roads are concerned, and we're trying to do our bit to try and maintain reasonably good roads. And I'm sure that with some more money from the state government or the federal government, we could go a lot further. But what we're trying to do is make the best of with what we've got.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. With no one wanting to speak against the motion, I'll put it to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.5, privacy policy, found on page 18 of the agenda. Councillors, are there any questions? No questions. I'll seek a mover. Moving the motion, Councillor Hayden. Seconding the motion, Councillor Phelan. Councillor Hayden, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm pleased to support this policy. While privacy may not always be front of mind, protecting the personal information of our residents is a fundamental responsibility of council. This revised policy reflects the increasing importance of privacy, cybersecurity and transparency in a modern digital environment. It provides clearer guidance, stronger governance and improved accountability for councillors, staff and contractors. I thank officers for their work in updating this important policy, and I'm happy to support this recommendation.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hayden. Councillor Phelan.
I fully endorse Councillor Hayden's remarks, but I think that privacy is a very important part and a very huge principle in any organisation. And I fully support this privacy policy.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Would any councillor like to speak against the motion? No one speaking against the motion. I'll put it straight to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? The motion is carried unanimously. Item 7.6, Financial Sustainability Strategy 2026/27 to 2031/32. Councillors, are there any questions on this item? If there is no questions, I'll seek a mover. Moving the motion, Councillor Robbins, and seconding the motion, Councillor Gamble. Councillor Robbins.
Thank you. Financial sustainability and cash flow have been a big focus of this council, especially since our revised budget last year. We know that we need to take corrective action to make sure that we're not spending beyond our means and that we remain able to maintain assets, deliver services and respond to emerging needs. Getting there might mean we have to decommission some assets. It might mean we have to change the way we deliver some of our services. It might mean we have to say no to some projects. But it's really important that whatever corrective action we take, we approach it in a structured way so that we apply consistent standards and don't just go by feel. This strategy outlines a way for us to do that, so I'm happy to adopt it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Gamble.
Thank you. Yeah, this is about basically the importance of growing our unrestricted cash to improve liquidity and long-term financial sustainability. There will need to be restriction of capital works and projects. And while I support this strategy, I do have concerns that there is perhaps too much, quote, prioritised attention to roads and asset maintenance. I'm concerned this will be at the expense of other important council services, which will, that is in the longer term, which will area by area be subject to future service reviews. I have argued any cuts should be borne fairly and evenly across the board. We have to acknowledge the stresses, retention rates, functionality, morale and wellbeing issues for staff that come with, quote, service reviews. Independent local government audits, on the other hand, show our roads compare favourably with like councils. Of course, there are some really bad roads and sections needing renewal, but overall, they compare favourably with other councils, like councils. For years, this council has sunk a lot of money into roads and bridges, but our roads will never be perfect. But issues are addressed, repairs are made. Deficiencies are not due to lack of past and present council prioritisation. It appears to me we have been driven to prioritise more road funding, particularly by negative satisfaction surveys and perceptions that do not represent the reality. I contend when people are asked, the survey responses on road conditions are actually a pretext to cast easy dispersions against a councillor group, fairly or unfairly, disliked by many of our residents. I recognise the need for this strategy and support it, but I disagree with the core prioritisation of, quote, asset sustainability. I feel this is an area we can expect and should get additional support from federal and state government, along with all other regional or rural local governments. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Nobody speaking against the motion. I'll put it to a vote. All those in favour? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Item 7.7, page 24 of the agenda, council corporate memberships. Councillors, are there any questions on this item? There's no questions on this item. I'll seek a mover. Moving, Councillor Kirby.
I've got an alternative motion.
So, yeah, I've got Councillor Kirby having raised a hand first. Councillor Kirby, just seeking clarification what you're moving.
I was going to ask a question.
Yeah, so Councillor Kirby, what was the question?
The question is, with the Greenhouse Alliance. That is in the south of the Shire. I was just wondering if we can ask the question, why do we not support one in the north of the Shire as well?
I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, thank you very much, Director Jessup, if you'd like to answer that. Thank you.
The Barwon Southwest Greenhouse Alliance covers the whole Shire, and it includes our Shire, City of Great Geelong, Surf Coast. I'm just having a mental blank for the fourth one, I apologise. But all those councils are sort of located in the southwest of Victoria. It's notionally the Southwest Alliance, but it does cover our whole. Yeah.
Thank you.
So the work we do covers the whole council.
Thank you.
Any further questions, councillors? If there's no further questions, I'll seek a mover. Moving Councillor Gamble.
Yeah, an alternative motion that's been circulated to councillors.
I'd like to just, if you'd just like to read that motion out as it's written in the first instance, please, Councillor Gamble.
Recommendation that council 1 notes the findings of the Corporate Membership Strategic Review 2026 attached to this report. 2, endorses the continuation of the core strategic memberships identified as retain in attachment 1. That's the same as the tabled recommendation. But 3, continues its membership in the VLGA identified as being retained in attachment 1. 4, further reviews the rest of my alternative is the same as this tabled motion. So basically the point difference is that the VLGA should be included.
So Councillor Gamble, have you finished reading out your motion?
Yeah, I've finished. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I will now seek a seconder to the motion. The motion has lapsed for a want of a seconder. Councillors, I'm seeking hands, and I give enough time at these moments. If councillors are going to just choose to do that, Councillor Kirby, I'll take you as seconding the motion, but please, councillors, if we could have, if you are passionate about something or moving or want to ask a question, please do so at the appropriate time. Councillor Kirby, I will take it as seconding the motion. Councillor Gamble.
Thank you. Overall, I believe there is a responsibility to look outside our fishbowl, so to speak, and support our council being proactive, connected and investing in these strategic groupings and service providers, ultimately for the benefit of residents. I support an organisation like Victorian Local Government Association, who provide many services, particularly for councillors as individuals, and who do advocacy work that is unique and different. Includes important supportive role and services to individual councillors, but also to the sector as a whole. Particular strengths with supporting good governance and governance issues, which has been the most significant problem for our council in the last 6 years. So they provide a resource, support and advice for individual councillors and officers. They offer many courses and I think they offer good value for money. What they're costing is 1/16 of the current investment and in financial allocation outlined in this review. They do work such as collecting councillor census, views and feedback, the functioning and health of local government, and getting the data to take and be noticed by state government. They also provide a lot of supportive networks such as the VLGA Connect show and support during elections. They provide a women's forum, and I think we should as a council be supporting them. I feel we've got a responsibility to to support organisations such as this that are working hard and giving good value to support the success of local government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. Councillor Kirby?
Thank you. I will reserve my right of reply, but I've opened it up for debate. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kirby. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Councillor Robbins.
Thank you. I don't think councillors have made all that much use of the VLGA offerings. Our induction after the 2024 election, which I thought was absolutely fantastic, was mostly delivered by a combination of different internal and external facilitators not connected to the VLGA. The mayoral training that the mayor and I attended, which I also found very valuable, was delivered by the MAB. I've attended a few meetings of the VLGA Young Councillors Network, which, while I think it's a great initiative, I don't think that's sufficient to justify continuing our membership. Some of the work done under the VLGA banner, such as the Councillor Census and the VLGA Connect podcast, are for the collective benefit of the sector. And so I can understand the argument that we're basically getting a free ride if we benefit from that work without being members. But at the end of the day, this is not a referendum on the VLGA's continued existence or its mission. It's a question of whether this council is deriving concrete benefits that justify the membership fee. And I'm not satisfied that we are.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Councillor Cook.
I think we just have to avoid doubling up, and maybe we double up in many things, but the VLGA and the MAV do have a substantial overlap. And I think that being members of both, it's not really sustainable. And if someone says the VLG is in preference to the MAV, sure, but I think at this stage the MAV is the better alternative. And for that reason, I think we should not retain the VLGA. The replication issues.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cook. Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Would anyone like to speak against the motion?
I'd like to.
Councillor Phelan.
I agree with what Councillor Cook's just said. I think with the way the municipalities are going today in Victoria, I can't see that we have a need for two organisations. So therefore, I think that there was one organisation when we had 210 municipalities. Now we've got 79, we've got two. And I think that that's just an overkill. And I believe that we don't get value for money. I'm not sure that the VLGA is not the right one, but we're not paying premiums to two.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Against the motion? Councillor Kirby, I'll come back to you, having reserved your right.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I think at the end of the day, once again, we do have two in each area of the Shire. We have, we're involved with two lots of organisations at the north and the south, with the same things happening here with the MAB and the VLGA. So I think at the end of the day, it's just a vote around the table as to whether people would use their services or not. And if they're not going to use their services, they will vote against. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Gamble, coming back to you to close the debate.
Yeah, I think the VLGA offers a unique perspective, and I believe that we can be members of both because it is unique. It's different from the MAV. For one thing, it focuses on governance issues, and that's really important for our Shire, for our council group, given the history we've had. In the last term that I did 3 or 4 courses through the VLGA, and Councillor Cook and I attended a fast track session on incivility in government.
Order, Councillor Gammon, just summing up and not introducing any new information to the debate, and just speaking against some of the items that have been presented in debate rather than bringing in new information.
This issue was introduced by Councillor Robbins, saying that we haven't used the courses things. But I tell you, the courses are there just because, and they should and could be used. So I think they offer value, and I think we should be a member.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. I will put the motion to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? All those against the motion? The motion has failed. Councillors, I come back to our clean slate where we do need to leave the organisation with some direction with regards to memberships. Appreciating not many councils bring these. These are healthy debates and discussions that's been presented here. So I will come back and seek a motion that clarifies and gives the organisation some direction with regards to our membership fees. Councillor Robbins, can I just seek clarification what you're moving?
Just the recommendation.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Robbins has moved the recommendation. I'll seek a seconder. Councillor Phelan seconding the motion. Councillor Robbins.
Thank you. I welcome the opportunity to review our corporate memberships. Obviously, each one costs money and we need to examine whether it delivers value, but we also need to examine whether we're really making the most of what is offered. For those organisations that offer training, are we taking advantage of the training? For those advocacy-focused organisations, are we having input and influencing their advocacy priorities? If an organisation's focus or activities have shifted over time, are they still aligned with our needs? So I especially agree with point 4 of the recommendation, which is a further review over the next 12 months to ensure we're getting substantial value from rural councils, Victoria and peri-urban councils. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. And Councillor Phelan seconding the motion.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, I think that my views on this are well known, and I believe that the doubling up's the thing that I don't believe in. I think that the further review of the other organisations is going to come forward or go, and I think there'll be things in there that will change, and I believe we're moving in the right direction.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? Councillor Gamble.
Yeah, I think by not including the VLGA, I think it will be a false economy, and it marks us as somewhat inward-looking council, not quite as open to connecting with other councils and to becoming better councillors by narrowing the ability to take those courses and extra learnings on board. That we will be able to access them, but at much greater cost, and it will be noted by other councils that we are declining the membership. So it's reputational as well, I believe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. Would anyone like to speak for the motion? Against the motion? Councillor Robbins, I will seek you to close the debate.
Nothing to add, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will put the motion to a vote. All those in favour? Those against? The motion is carried. Item 7.8, Instrument of Delegation, Council to Staff, page 28 of the agenda. Councillors, are there any questions? No questions. I'll seek a mover to the motion. Seek a mover. Moving the motion, Councillor Cook. And seconding the motion, Councillor Phelan. Councillor Cook, thank you.
Thank you. These next two items on the agenda are fairly straightforward organisational matters for an organisation of our size. The council operates through meetings such as this, and then the day-to-day running of the council is performed by the CEO and council staff. This delegation at 7.6 relates to the delegation of various powers of entry, inspection to staff members. And I think in my time at council, we haven't had any direct complaints of misuse of such power, and I commend the council staff on their diligent exercise of their powers that are delegated under these provisions. So I commend the motion to the council.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cook. Councillor Phelan, seconding the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think that's probably a fairly straightforward thing. The council cannot operate without delegated people, and it's very important. And as I endorse Councillor Cook's comments, when we've had no trouble with anyone frauding the place or doing anything wrong, and I think it's very important to keep the ongoing running of this municipality.
Thank you very much, Councillor Phelan. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? No one speaking against the motion. I will put the motion to a vote. All those in favour? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.9, page 30 of the agenda. And are there any questions on this item, councillors? I'll seek a mover to the motion. Moving the motion, Councillor Kirby. Seconding the motion, Councillor Cook. Councillor Kirby.
Thank you. I'd like to move items 7.9, 7.10 and 7.11 to en bloc. Thank you.
No, sorry, Councillor Kirby. 7.9. You've moved 7.9 as the item there. If you'd like to speak for that one.
Yes, I was hoping to move them in a block. Items 7.9, 10 and 11.
We are unable to do that. These are delegated items, Councillor Kirby, that need to be done individual. These are decisions. So part of our training is that to on-block items, which need to be done on noting items. These are recommendations. So we're unable to do that, Councillor Kirby. So
Okay.
I'll take it as you having moved 7.9 and Councillor Cook having seconded that. If you'd like to speak to the motion.
I think this is a straightforward item, and I think it's something. Hold on, I've just got to get my page up. I'm sorry. This is the council to CEO. Just making sure. Yeah, I think this is just a formality from the council's point of view. Thank you.
Yeah, just as a point of clarity there, Councillor Kirby, you are aware of what item you're moving, 7.9, just for clarity?
Say that, yes.
Yeah, thank you. And Councillor Cook.
I'm very proud to second this delegation because I think since the appointment of the CEO, Adam McSwain, he's done an exceptional job in bringing the council forward, helping us to be focused on various issues and ensuring that the council is informed by the great work of the staff underneath his purview. So I'm more than happy to recommend the delegation to the CEO.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cook. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? No one speaking against the motion. I will put it to a vote. All those in favour? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7.10, page 32. Again, an instrument of delegation. I'll seek a mover. moving the motion, Councillor Robbins, seconding the motion, Councillor Phelan. Councillor Robbins, thank you.
Thank you. This is an instrument of sub-delegation under the Environmental Protection Act. So similar to the previous two items, but with a much smaller schedule of provisions, it delegates powers and functions under the Environmental Protection Act. And similar to 7.9, this one has been reviewed and it doesn't have any changes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Phelan.
I've got nothing to add to that, Mr Mayor.
Any councillor like to speak against the motion? No one speaking against the motion. I'll put it to a vote. All those in favour? Motion is carried unanimously. 7.11 on page 34 of the agenda. CK, if there's any questions? No questions, I'll second mover. Moving the motion, Councillor Robbins. Seconding the motion, Councillor Phelan. Cook, I didn't say Phelan, Cook. Councillor Robbins.
Thank you. The instrument of appointment and authorisation is different from an instrument of delegation because with this one we need to mention the person by name. This one is coming to us tonight because we have a new Director of Community Planning and Growth, Jonathan Daly, so his name is being added to the instrument. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Cook.
Nothing further to add, Mr Mayor.
I should have gone to Phelan. Thank you very much, Councillor Cook. Would anyone like to speak against the motion? I will put it to a vote. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you. Item 7.12, delegates report. I'll seek a mover, a seconder, and give it. Moving the motion, Councillor Robbins. Seconding the motion, Councillor Gamble. Hoping might put his hand up so I can go around the table in a. Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. Councillor Robbins.
Thank you. During Reconciliation Week, I read a book to children here at the Well in Smythesdale. We read Cuckoo Kookaburra, which is a book about the importance of being kind. I was joined by a staff member from the Geelong Regional Libraries Corporation who brought along a few other books and some songs to sing, and he did a great job of getting the kids engaged. I went to the Bannockburn Farmers Market and the Golden Spaces Winter Exhibition launch, which was happening adjacent to the market in the Cultural Centre. The launch was quite well attended and the artworks looked really stunning. And last week I presided over a citizenship ceremony assisted by Councillor Hayden. That was a real privilege and it's beautiful to be able to welcome people who have chosen to become Australians.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. Councillor Gamble.
Yeah, thank you. The most significant thing that I have to report for delegates is my role as the MAV delegate for our council, where I went to on the Friday, 29th of May, I went to the Town Hall in Melbourne. Various dignitaries there, including the Mayor of Melbourne and representatives from basically all the different councils around Victoria were in attendance, and we were there to vote on. There was something like 70 motions, something. But, quite a few of them were amalgamated, including a couple of ours. So I was quite proud to represent an active Golden Plains Shire with some really good sort of motions that we put forward as a group. I'll go through them just quickly. Of note is that two of our motions were considered to have strategic alignment. So they're right up there at the front part, and we had two others that were considered to have sector significance. Our motion suggesting planning reform and basically more help from state government to assist us and our planning people was amalgamated into a motion with 5 other councils. So it realised and reflected a more generalised perception. That was another 5 motions, I think. And then the C1, the amalgamated ones. Then our motion on climate change adaptation, that actually stood alone. It wasn't amalgamated with other councils, and it was considered as having strategic alignment. So that was very pleasing. We made a worthwhile impact or input there. Our emergency management resourcing motion, that was amalgamated, and the motion on road shoulders passed as well, standing alone. I should also note that none of those motions that we put forward had any opposition from other councils. So all in all, I think we had a positive contribution and played an active role on the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. Councillor Cook.
Thank you, Council. I went to the Bennyburn Market and the opening of the Winter Arts Exhibition. I also last weekend went to the opening of Niall Banyul, which was, I think the public opening is on the 1st of July, and I'd highly recommend this structure for anyone to go have a look. Niall Banyul actually means looking to the mountains. When you stand there and look out, you can see Anarchy. That's what it's about. When you can stand there and look at the Bellarine Hills, that's what the building is about too. It's set into the land, and is a place, we were told, where the Aboriginal population would meet as a gathering place. It's also a very significant investment by the state government, and not being their bell ringer. It should be noted this is a $300 to $400 million building that has been developed in Geelong, in the regions and for the regions. It's not an insignificant amount of money that the government has spent over the 4 years that it took to be built. Every part of the building, they've worked in conjunction with the Wadawurrung people, who gave a great speech to say that everything about the building was designed with them. It's not that they were actually designing a building, but when they were designing a building, they talked to the Wadawurrung people so that they felt the choice of carpets, curtains, how things were oriented, was all with the consent and input from the Wadawurrung people. So they feel and believe genuinely that this building is part of them. And if you go to the forecourt, which is on the corner there, and it's a great place where soccer games and football games will be watched when Geelong gets in the finals, you'll be able to find little paw prints of possums and kangaroos and wombats all around the building. And it was very important for the Wadawurrung people to make sure that the whole building is encompassed with little bits and bobs all around the building, rather than a statue of some bloke on a horse out the front. The Minister for Regional Development was there, and I was very proud when she was speaking. But it was a great opening, and anyone who goes to that building will be very impressed. I'd highly recommend it.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cook. Would any other councillor like to speak to delegates' report? Councillor Kirby.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I'd just like to say that I attended the Smythesdale Market on Saturday. It was a great day. There was buzzing. There was a lot of people around, and I think that at the end of the day, that was our councillor engagement day. I was running a bit late, so I didn't get there till 11 o'clock, but it's a shame when I got there, there was no one else there from council. So I spent a little while there and speaking to a couple of the former councillors, and I'd just like to take note that one of our kindergarten teachers was there, and we wish her well in her recovery because she's had a long battle, and she was teaching out at Roker Kindergarten, and I know that at the end of the day she's been battling and suffering from a car accident, so we hope that she has a speedy recovery in the future. Other than that, I've had a pretty quiet month, but thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Kirby, would any other councillors like to speak to delegates report? Just sorry, I've got notes here on a small screen here. I just wanted to give an update of my month. It's been a pretty busy month this month, just with the National Storytime and National Reconciliation Week. Just to give a shout out to the those at the Bannockburn Library. I know that some of us councillors spoke last year about attending these items and been sort of low, there was very low numbers last year, so a considerable effort was put in this year by those working at the library, and on both occasions I turned up. There would have been 40, 50 kids at each one, which was fantastic to see. And speaking to Andrew down there at the Geelong Libraries, a lot of those kids asked their parents to come back to the library and weren't ones that sort of had traditionally gone to libraries and become members then afterwards. So fantastic to see some outcomes there of a small but very important program that's run right across the country. So they also had that GRLC board workshop, just again sort of putting strong emphasis on that transition piece that is coming for us. I think we as Golden Plains Shire are pretty well positioned in that transition, and yeah, there's a lot of questions coming from sort of particularly sort of new councillors in that process. I think we're really well positioned in that transition piece and understand the importance of that and how much it means to our residents. Also attended the Golden Plains Careers Expo. This is probably one of our best items that we do each year. It has gone from strength to strength. It is a hugely important piece of work that we do, and it's so well embraced by so many people. The schools are really on board with it all. Yeah, we do so many things at council level, but this one there's genuine engagement from particularly year 11s and 12s, but there's a lot of kids that sort of are coming at an early stage through this, and I suppose they'll be coming each and every year, but as they get to year 11 and 12, the importance of that and having kids my own age there, it's these moments that really give us a really good opportunity to have those conversations with our own kids, and there's so many avenues there. So there was a tremendous amount of work put into that, and again a shout out to particularly the youth group there that got heavily involved in that process as well. Again, a few other things there. Just our G21 board meeting, just coming to the end of G21 in terms of, you know, ready to gear up for advocacy and start that state advocacy piece that's coming up ahead of the state election. So we are working on a piece there, ready to launch that in the coming weeks, which will be fantastic. And Peri-Urban Group has also been actively busy this month, sitting on that as the deputy chair, and unfortunately our chair at the moment is away, unfortunately on leave, so I've had to step in on her behalf, speaking to other small regional councils across Australia just to seek further collaboration and on that with other councils across the country. The Golden Spaces Art Show was fantastic. I think most councillors attended that, which was really good to see. Again, a bit of a miserable day there, but fantastic to see not so miserable artwork. Really fantastic artwork there, and an exceptionally high standard of work. And I'd encourage any anyone to attend and have a look at that artwork that's hanging beautifully at the moment. Also attended the farmers market on Saturday as well, and to Councillor Kirby's comment, there was a couple of councillors there at the start of the day, and it was a terrible, miserable day, and it poured down rain. So, yeah, great to see the community in and around Smythesdale attending that. But also, as we are aware, there was a community launch then at Napoleon's at 11 o'clock. So, so there was attendance there as well, and we had the fortune of also having our Minister Catherine King attend that. So fantastic to see. Yeah, not too often you see a minister turning up to a community launch. So the community really appreciate the representation there on the day. So that was really good. And so the yeah, probably the other piece there is the GBAC group had a day in Spring Street. And there was a strong delegation put forward there. So again, the GBAC, which is the Greater Ballarat Alliance of Councils, really putting together some strong points on that. Probably the highlight meeting of the day was meeting with the senior advisors to planning and finance and roads and safety. So we had a really good opportunity. A lot of similar councils to us. I know we've had some horrific and tragic accidents that have happened around our shire, particularly in the last 12 months. But we're not alone. All of our neighbouring councils had similar stories to us, and yeah, it was a really good conversation had. Some really strong points put forward around road signage. And what we can do to not just wait till an accident happens before funding comes. So yeah, some really good conversations over the whole day. But yeah, busy month had. But thank you. I'll finish there. And I'll take that. I'll put that now to a vote. The delegates report. All those in favour of the delegates report. Motion is carried. Thank you. Item 7.13, CEO report. I'll seek a. Is there any questions to the CEO report? There's no questions. I'll seek a. Move a single closer. What I will do is, sorry, I will ask the CEO to speak to the item. Thank you.
Thanks, and through you, Mr. Mayor. Probably just a couple of things I want to highlight. Councillors, a number have been touched on in the delegates' reports, but just want to highlight the success of the e-waste events. So both Meredith and
that's a lot of feedback.
Bannockburn, you can all hear me okay?
I think if Owen mutes, then we should be right.
Sounds like they're calling a race.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. It's still dull.
Going.
So do you want to leave this on?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Is that any better?
That's better.
So just to highlight, councillors, the success of the e-waste events in Meredith and Bannockburn. That's the first time our team have run those, and to get such wonderful feedback from the community and lots of feedback from people wanting to see us hopefully do more of those into the future. And then also just to highlight, councillors, and it's not in the report because it only happened last week, but just to recognise Phil and his team, and also the Inverleigh community for the amazing work on the Inverleigh Active Youth Space project, and that getting a win at the Local Government Professional Awards last week. So just recognition of an amazing project by council staff and also the community.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Thank you very much. Councillors, were any questions on that item? If there's no questions, I'll seek a mover. Moving the report, Councillor Phelan. Seconding the motion, Councillor Gamble. Councillor Phelan.
No, nothing to report. I just moved it.
Thank you much. Councillor Gamble, would you like to speak to the motion?
Just to thank the CEO. I think it was a good report. I like the photos as well, demonstrating really good improvements in issues such as the drainage on Burnside Road. So thank you for the report.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gamble. I would like to speak against the motion. No one speaking against the motion. I will put it to a vote. All those in favour? The motion is carried. And that brings us to the end of the meeting with no notices of motion, no petitions, no urgent business, and no confidential reports for decision. I will close the meeting at 7:26